Alright, so you guys really did enjoy my last video of unused/removed content from the original Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was requested to do another video on the second Five Nights at Freddy's, and we got plenty more unused/removed content from this game, just like we do in the original one. So go ahead and strap your seatbelts in, buckle up, sit down, grab some popcorn, because today we're going to be looking at the unused and removed content from the second Five Nights at Freddy's. Kicking us off for this one is the unused texture of Toy Chica in the office. Now there are very big differences between this unused texture of Toy Chica compared to her regular one. First off, the beak is missing on her mouth. But of course, the scariest feature being the glossy black eyes that she has. This texture was going to be used in a similar style as what Toy Bonnie did. Whenever you were to put on the mask, Toy Chica would somehow either rise up to the top of the mask or side by side, similar to what Toy Bonnie did, but this was removed from the game. Interestingly enough, this file is referred to as Chica Looks at You in the MFA files from the Click Team Fusion 2.5. This next one is going to be the puppet in the office unused texture. As you can see here, the puppet is attached his full body to the strings dangling in your office. According to the unused files in the game's Click Team Fusion, this file name was listed as Puppet and was originally supposed to go into your office the same way as many of the other animatronics in Toy Freddy, Withered Bonnie, Chica. Ultimately, this was removed in the game. You can see Puppet leave the toy box in the cameras, but he does not appear in the office unless he is jumping at you and killing you. This one's a little bit different. This Easter egg's kind of hard to find in the game, and this is Endo/O2 and Shadow Freddy leaving after being seen in the game. For those of you that are completely unaware of what I'm talking about, I do not blame you. I'd be confused too. It is this gigantic robot thing right here, this endoskeleton looking thing. This is Endo/O2, and this right here is Shadow Freddy. So this is what the unused media is going to be stuck around for this one. There is actually an unused sound effect for whenever you see Endo/O2 in the left air vent or in the prize counter, or when you see Shadow Freddy in the parts and service. Now both these things disappear a second after you look at them, but leave a 3-second static sound effect after, but this is the missing sound bite that had whenever they were moving. In the very early stages of the second Five Nights at Freddy's, there was actually a toxic meter in the game. This early image was found deep in the game's files and was later revealed to be a toxicity meter for how long you could keep the Freddy Fazbear suit on before it ended up dying. In the final result of the game, if you end up keeping the mask on for too long instead of having a toxicity meter come up, well, you just flat out die. There's not a really big reason as to why this was removed from the game. In fact, I feel like this would have helped players out a lot more if you were to keep it on. That way hey, take it off now or whatever. You typically know when to take it off whenever the withered animatronics come into your room, but whenever they don't, this would be a very helpful tool, but in the end it was removed from the game. This very pixelated image right here, located in the Fusion team's files, is listed as Mike. Now, the creepy part of this pixelated image is it's depicting the image of an upper skull in the face. This file was found deep within ClickFusion's files of the game, but interestingly enough, this file bears the same size as the animatronic movements, which means that this potential character may have been either an animatronic, a character in the game, or so much as a hallucination. However, Mike does lack its own AI or anything else outside of this own pixelated image, so we'll never really know exactly what Scott was intending with Mike, but we can only imagine that potentially it was a hallucination or another character among the big list of characters we already have in this game. Much like the original one, we also got a updated newspaper patch. Upon starting a new game, the image in the newspaper was titled differently, and there was also a phone number that was later changed for the same reason as the first one, likely to prevent prank calls. You would think that Scott Cawthon would get a little bit of a memo to stop using real numbers in his newspaper ads. Now, this one is a very small one for unused content. There are demo leftovers, as you can see right here. Very similar to the original, with a little bit of different context. This one's saying you should get the full game. It gets a lot worse, but very similar to the first one that I thought, added into this video anyway. Now this one's a little bit different, it is a lot deeper than most of them. See, before each game's release, Scott Cawthon would go on his website and post teaser images on there. These were mirror teasers just to show us the upcoming games that were going to happen. A lot of times Scott surprised a lot of people with some of the teaser images, but the one we're going to be looking at for this one is going to be the Foxy and Mangle teaser image for the second game. As we can see here from this image, there are clearly some vast differences between this image and the actual in-game, most notably being the hook that Mangle has. In the end, Mangle does not wield a hook in the game, as they possess both of their hands. The fact that they had a hook maybe was just to indicate that Foxy has, a replica of himself, I guess, in a way it was really just to show there's another Foxy out there per se. So I'm not sure if Scott Cawthon intended on Mangle to have a hook originally, but pretty sure this is just to show, hey, this is another Fox. There is also a pretty big difference between the Foxy shown in this teaser. As you can see here, this is the original Foxy model from the first game compared to the rundown model that we get in the second game. This one has glossy black eyes as well as glowing white pupils. This was later on replaced throughout the game as for what we know as Withered Foxy. This next piece of unused media is a little title text that says Max Out, and the context surrounding this one would have been that whenever you're designing Night 7's custom night and you're designing the animatronics whatever level you want, there was this Max Out option which would automatically put all of them to 20. This was later scrapped and now you just gotta do it manually. And for the final piece of unused/removed media is the flashlight text that we see above the battery in the top left corner of our screen. In the original trailer and even some screenshots prior to the game's release, the flashlight text was missing and it was clearly just a battery. Now this was a very, very minor little setback, as they ended up adding instead of removing the flashlight text from the game, but as you can see very early on in the early stages of this game, flashlight text was not there and it was just a battery. And that is going to wrap it up for the remove/unused content in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This video may be a little bit shorter than the original. I feel like it had less content removed from it than the original did, but nevertheless still enough to make a whole video. I'm not sure if I can make a whole video on the removed content from the third and fourth game. For what I've heard, there's very little content that is removed from both of those games. I might make a final video of combining those two together. You let me guys know in the comment section below what you think I should do. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and make sure to smash that subscribe button. The channel is growing, guys. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. I can just feel it. I'm just so happy the way this channel is growing. Again, thank you guys so much for all the support you've shown me. Do not hesitate to request a video in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one.